The Special Little Christmas Tree, written by D.Renee Gibbs, watercolor illustrations by Landa Smith. Story read today by the author, D.Renee Gibbs. And here we have the title page. In the small town of Carytown, signs of Christmas were everywhere. The snow had fallen and covered the ground like a huge white blanket. The children gathered on top of the steep hill next to the school and slid down on their homemade cardboard sleds. The stores were decorated for the season with lots of twinkling lights, garland, ribbon, and Fraser fir wreaths on the front of each store. As the shoppers made their way from store to store on Main Street, Christmas carols could be heard playing in the general store, where the biggest candy canes in the world were sold. A short distance from downtown on Main Street was the mayor's house. It was the most special place in Carytown during the holidays. Every Christmas, Mayor Jackson and his family would try to create a new idea and theme that would be bigger and better than the year before, to give the townspeople something to look forward to. Everyone in town was always invited to spend Christmas Eve at Mayor Jackson's house to enjoy a very special Christmas meal and to observe the lighting of the Christmas tree. Each year, the most beautiful tree from the Christmas tree lot would be selected as the mayor's tree. The tree would stand in the large bay window in Mayor Jackson's living room and could be seen by those who walked down Main Street on their way to town. All the trees in Carytown knew what a special honor it was to be selected to stand in Mayor Jackson's house at Christmas time and to be decorated so beautifully. Each year, the local trees would try to eat right, get plenty of rest, and take their vitamins so they could have a chance to be selected as a special tree. All the trees nervously prepared themselves for the big day when the mayor would choose his tree. They showered and they combed their branches and they put on their biggest smiles and stood tall on the Main Street Christmas tree lot. Christmas was only a few days away, and Mayor Jackson needed to select his special tree. Most of the other townspeople had already selected theirs, so the remaining trees were beginning to get really excited about the possibility of being chosen by Mayor Jackson. One tree on the lot had worked so hard all year long in hopes of being selected as the special tree. This tree was very different because it was the smallest tree on the lot, but it had the biggest smile and lots of determination to succeed. "This year I'll be picked," said the little tree with its high-pitched voice. "I'll be the best tree the mayor has ever had. I'll stand up tall, way up on my tiptoes, so everyone can see me. I'll be the best, he'll see." As people came onto the lot to select their trees, the little tree stood tall, hoping everyone would see him and admire him. Most of the other tree friends had already found a special home to spend the holidays in. The special tree for the mayor's house had not yet been selected. The lot was thinning out, but there were still, as you can see, many beautiful trees left. 2 days before Christmas, Mayor Jackson decided to go to his lot to select his tree. The little tree had been standing tall for many days, and he was getting quite tired, but he knew he had to continue to stand. The mayor parked his car near the front of the lot and got out to begin his search. The snow was beginning to fall heavily, and the trees were shivering in the cold. Mayor Jackson started walking through the lot. The little tree saw him and said, "Oh, I'm so nervous. I hope he sees me. Maybe if I call out to him, he'll hear me and pick me." little tree waited patiently for the mayor to come closer to him. As the mayor got closer to the little tree called out in its high-pitched voice, "Pick me, pick me!" Mayor Jackson started toward him, reached out over the top of the little tree, and picked the big Fraser fir right behind him. The little tree stood there so sad and disappointed. He began to cry and tears froze on his branches. The little tree had been overlooked and he knew he wouldn't have another year to grow bigger and stronger. "It's not fair," said the little tree. "I'm just as good as those big trees and I'm just as special. I'm going to run away and find someone who thinks I'm special. I'll show him." The little tree put on his boots, mittens, and scarf and picked up his little bag and set out to find a special home. As he walked along the highway, it began to snow so hard. He was feeling cold and hungry and scared. He'd never been away from home before. As he walked along, he felt sad. He kept saying to himself, "Somebody will want me. I just know it. I'm special too." The snow began to fall so hard that the little tree was having a hard time seeing where he was going. Suddenly, a car pulled up next to him. "Excuse me," a deep voice said from the open car window. "Excuse me." The little tree stopped to see who was calling out to him and realized it was Mayor Jackson. "It's him!" the little tree said to himself with delight. The little tree paused for a moment and then said, Yes? Yes, you want me?" The mayor replied, Yes, I do." Mayor Jackson got out of his car and stood next to the little tree. "I saw you on the Main Street Christmas tree lot, but before I could get back to you, you'd already left. The other trees told me where I might find you. You're such a special little tree, and I might have a place for you in my home." The little tree was so excited he didn't know what to do. Mayor Jackson then said, "I was wondering if you can bend over and touch your trunk and make yourself into a nice circle. I'd like to have a special wreath for my front door." "Oh, yes," said the little tree with a gleam in his eye. "I can do it, see?" The little tree did exactly what Mayor Jackson wanted him to do and made himself into a beautiful wreath. "Well, brush the snow off your branches, hop in the front seat, and let's go home," said Mayor Jackson. The little tree was so excited. He shook the snow off, opened the car door, and sat down on the front seat. The Mayor Jackson drove back to his house to get ready for the Christmas Eve celebration. And the little tree kept saying, "I am special, I am." The little tree was decorated with beautiful lights and ribbons and placed on the front door of the mayor's house as a beautiful wreath. This was the first year the mayor had placed a wreath on his door. As the guests arrived at the mayor's house for the annual Christmas Eve celebration, they stood at the door for a moment and admired the beautifully decorated wreath. All the townspeople thought that the wreath helped to set the mood of the holiday season so nicely. The little tree beamed with pride. "I am special after all," he thought. "Even though I couldn't be what I wanted to be, I'm special in my own way." With that thought, the special little tree, with the biggest smile and lots of determination, beamed proudly as the best Christmas wreath in Carytown. The end.